My name is Andre Russell, and I'm from the South Side of Chicago, and I've been black all my life. No surprise.
How do you like being black?
Love it. It's part of who you are. It's your title. It's a badge. It's a lot of things. The best story I can think of, rather, was when I was working at one of my old jobs, and I was actually the only black person in my department. And for me, that was both a blessing and a curse because, being the only black person, I guess you wore that like a symbol because there was no one else that you could really talk to about certain things. Yet, you were seen as the man from other people. They were like, oh, he's the only one down there. He must be somebody, must be doing something right, whatever. So, my team was really close knit because, we were only ones doing what we were doing. So we always did a lot of things together, like a lot of team building. And one of those things we did was go out for monthly meetings and lunches and breakfasts or whatever. So this one particular occasion, we went and to go down to our place called Wishbone. And a lot of people know about me is I'm a fanatic when it comes to like drinking lemonade. So any kind of flavor, whatever, the sweeter the better, all that good stuff. That was me. We were there, and one of my coworkers, we would look at the menu, and they was like, "Hey, Andre, I see they got lemonade. Which one you gonna try? The watermelon?" Something in my head just like clicked. Like, what? Like, did that just happen? I didn't say anything right then and there because at the time, I was taking it all in. The questions that were being asked was, A, why did she single me out? B, why did it have to be watermelon when there's so many other flavors on the menu? And C, did that really just happen? Once again, so I was mostly in shock before any kind of other feeling came in. I went back to the office and I thought about it to myself, processed it, figured it all out, went through all the scenes again to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Then I went to talk to one of my coworkers, black and white, because I didn't want to just get one perspective. I had to get both perspectives on it. Both of them said that if I felt some way about it, I had to address it. Because that was my whole thing, is how do I address it? Or do I address it? And that was a big challenge for me. So after talking to my people about it and everything, I talked to my supervisor about it, confidentially, and I was like, I want to have this conversation because I don't want this to happen to somebody else, to have this feeling, and I wanted to address that. So it was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. It was an awkward conversation. To talk about race is very awkward, especially when you don't have hate behind you to draw it, to fuel it. Because when you're angry, you can talk about anything and everything because everything comes out. But when you're trying to be rational, you're trying to be objective, you're trying to be mature, professional, it's an awkward conversation because you have to choose your words carefully. It's just like, hey, this happened, and I want to just tell you just how I felt. Not accusing anybody, but just how I felt. And I felt weird because out of every flavor that was, on the menu, watermelon was pulled. And for some black people to say that is a trigger, and it's a racial offensive term, to equate that with us. So I felt good because I said that, and I felt good because I got it out and had a conversation. I felt bad because, of course, she was crying, she was upset, and it was awkward. Like I said, it was awkward, very, very difficult conversation. I felt better because at least I got it out and didn't just, let it sit. And it'd have been like, oh wow, after everything I've been through, after everything I know, my opportunity to address this came up and I did nothing. So I made a teaching moment for someone else so they would be more aware. Maybe, I need to be more cautious about what I say because someone else could not, maybe took it the wrong way and probably could have snapped off and, and took it somewhere else. And then she'd have been like, well, what happened,